The following is a special presentation of the First Horizon Green Sports Zone. This is the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Stephen Gregg Show. Welcome back to this year's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Stephen Gregg Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood. With the South Green Lady Rebels basketball team, we'll preview this year's 2025-26 edition of the Lady Rebels, talk about the roster, the schedule, and what you can expect this year. But first, as always, we need to take a billboard break first. So we'll be right back after these quick messages to preview that here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone. The Gary's Paint and Body Shop Stephen Gregg Show is brought to you by Gateway Ford Nissan, Tommy's Plumbing, Gary's Paint and Body Shop, and by First Horizon Bank.
Twist on your typical banking options. What if instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. To help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this year's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Stephen Gregg Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with the South Green Lady Rebels basketball team. As always, joined here with Lady Rebels head coach Stephen Gregg. Coach,
good to have you.
It's good to have you back.
Sorry, that time of year again.
It doesn't feel like it, does it? Volleyball flies by, and we go into basketball season, and it feels like it drags by, but when you get to the end of it, it feels like it flies by too. But it's here. We're back in the gym. It's basketball season now. You've got a new season ahead of you, so how are you feeling going into it at the moment?
Kind of rested right now. Volleyball just did end, but shifting gears is always a struggle, no matter what sport it is. You know, if you coach multiple sports, you got that little lull where you don't really know what to do after school. You know, you walk around like a zombie state. But I think we're past that fog now, and we're excited. And we've been in the gym now this week and had some conditioning 2 weeks ago. So we're excited to line up and see what we can do and go at some people.
And I know you told me before we started the recording, you've got a roster of 12 players this year. You've got a huge senior class in this year's edition. So take me through the roster from top to bottom and tell me what you can expect. You can talk about each player individually. I usually say class by class, but you've only got mainly one class of players this year. So take me through the roster and what you've constructed this year.
It's a different situation that we've never been in before. I've always kept kids around so we could have a junior varsity program. You know, I've seen the effects it has negatively when you don't have enough to play, because all the kids need to be playing as they grow, you know, from year to year. So unfortunately we have 0 juniors, and there'll be 10 seniors. It was 1 sophomore as of last week, and then another one added. So I've got 2 sophomores, 10 seniors. And we're begging freshmen out of the halls. I pulled 2 that played volleyball that never even played organized basketball a day in their life. So I've got 2 of them. I've got another girl that hadn't played since her 6th grade year. So we're trying to go, recruit our kids in our own building and not have to reach out and try to go pull kids from other areas. You know, we want to keep this thing going, but it is going to be a peculiar season with 10 seniors, because it's all about the rotation and working kids in. So right now we don't really have a set 5 yet. It's all going to depend on effort and how they perform daily. And so if we can get all these kids up to playing defense, we can play multiple kids. But the struggle is when we go to the bench and bring other people in, it really inhibits what we can do offensively, so we're not going to, be able to run a lot of complex sets. So we're just going to put them out there and teach them how to play instead of memorization. But it's going to be a trial and error type year. But by the time you're a senior, though, you should know what it's like to give 100%. So we'll start with Courtney, Courtney Bailey. She was a lot of teams' focus last year, and the game prep was to kind of find a way to slow Courtney down. Courtney's a versatile player. Could play inside. She plays bigger than her size. And she can handle the ball and play outside. So not real sure what her home position is going to be, but she's going to be asked to do a lot more. And that could be, bringing the ball up against pressure, and then maybe getting in there and digging in the trenches on the block. But, you want to start out with her. Next one I'll talk about is Reagan Arwood. She had a phenomenal volleyball season, and I told her, if we can get what we got out of you in volleyball, this will be a great senior year for her. She's a steady player who doesn't wow you with a lot with her presence, but she doesn't she doesn't do a lot to hurt you. So she's just like a little steady Eddie player. Paisley Brobeck's another senior. People hadn't really been able to see what Paisley's ceiling or potential is. She's stayed hurt her whole career, and I don't want to jinx her. We're trying to keep her healthy, and she knows what she has to do to stay healthy. But Paisley's a competitor, a natural competitor, and she ain't afraid to get in there and mix it up and use some fouls. So there's 3 seniors. Nevaeh Davis, another senior, isn't very big, but she is feisty on defense, and she's a streaky shooter. When she gets hot, she can fill it up for us. Samantha Burble, another senior who is a competitor. She likes to play bigger than she is sometimes. She'll get in there, and she would try to take down a giant with her stature, but we're going to be requiring more out of her this year, and a lot of these kids, not to put pressure on them, but they're going to have to stay in the game more and not do silly tendencies or silly fouls or bad habits that they have been plagued with in years past. And you can't forget Ari. Ari is one of our most experienced players returning. She's got some height and the ability to help bring the ball up too when people are pressing. So she's a streaky shooter, one of the better shooters on the team, and she's really starting to develop some attacking moves toward the bucket. So, hopefully we can all grow and improve on what we did last year. Now where am I at? How many is that?
I think 6.
6. Let's go with Trinity Borner, who's another senior that's been here. Hasn't got to play a lot of varsity minutes, but she's stuck it out, and she's long, and she's a better defensive player than she is an offensive player. And I think it's just a lack of confidence on the offensive side of the ball. But she's got some strengths on the offensive side. And on the defensive side, she does do a good job of finding the rebound. She's one of those players that knows where the ball's coming off the rim. And she reads well on defense. So that's kind of what I can say about Trinity. Macy Roberts is another senior. She can play spotty minutes, but when she gets in there, we realize we got to try to feed her the ball and try to let her do what she can do quick. She's one of the better players I ever had at drawing fouls. Seems like every time she can get it, whether it's a rebound or a drop step on the low block, ability to go to the foul line per minutes played is as high as anybody I've ever had. So it tells you that, she's in there working on the low blocks. How many is that?
8.
8. Oh, gosh. Who am I going to leave off? Oh, Lord, I knew I'd do this without a roster. I've got Bree Wilson, who is a girl that just moved in here from Oregon, and she's not been around for a lot of our preseason conditioning stuff, and her family's trying to build a house right now, and so she's having to miss a lot more. And I do see an upside to her and her ability. She can go out there and probably play on the inside and do some good things for us. But she's another one that knows how to rebound and is confident with the ball. And that's what you want to see, is confidence by the time you're a senior. So now
we're at 9.
I've left somebody off, so I'm going to have to just kind of go through them. Sam, Ari, Courtney. Oh, Alexa Gabbard.
Yeah.
I had to leave Alexa out. Alexa's another one who is kind of better on defense than she is offense, but she's worked really hard in the off season to improve and hone in on that. But Alexa, you know, she's a funny story. She was a manager in her freshman year, and I went to her and just pretty much said, "Hey, you look athletic, why don't you play?" And she took me at it, and she came out, and she's played 2 seasons, and she's grown a lot. But if she can really get her offensive confidence going, she can be, you know, getting more roles and more playing time in our system, because she's a great track athlete. She can run and jump, but that doesn't always relate in basketball, you know. So that's a whole lot to talk about in the spur of the moment on 10 girls, but that's the thing that's so special about, is you might not be a great offensive player, so we can use you on defense. But it's terrible for a coach when you have different combinations and mixtures of players going in there, trying to think in your head, what's our best offensive system? What can I run with this group? And then it could change if somebody gets in foul trouble. But we're going to try to exploit teams on the defensive side. You know, if I can rotate people in, we're going to have them play defense, whether they can do some things or not on the offensive side. We're going to try to get after it on the defensive side.
And I know that you've got 2 sophomores on your team also, outside of those 10 seniors. Large senior class, maybe the largest senior class that I've ever seen out of a girls program. And the 2 sophomores may not touch the floor as much as those 10 seniors, but talk about the 2 sophomores that you'll have on the roster this year.
Madison Fillers, a lefty who can penetrate. She's got a little length to her. She's trying to fit in where she can help the team the most, and you know, she's got to improve her decision making. It's got to be a quicker decision on some things, but her ceiling can be really good. Her upside's good on the offensive side, but defensively, you know, I can speak for the whole team. We need to get better on seeing our man and the ball and protecting the rim better, but she's one of those that's better on offense right now than she is the defensive side. So it's a combination. Some kids are better on this side of the ball and some aren't, and that's where the coaching comes in. And so with some confidence and the right chemistry, you know, don't really know what we're capable of doing yet. We're getting ready to load the bus and go to our first scrimmage here today in about an hour, so I'm eager to see what our intensity looks like.
Did you have another sophomore?
I do, Sadie Knowles.
Okay.
Sadie had went through us in the summer. She's really grown fundamentally since she came in as a freshman, and she kind of stepped away from it after summer, and she came to us last week or 2 weeks ago, and she actually told me on Rebel Hill, said that I'm wanting to come back, so we welcomed her back. And you know, we need our younger kids to keep the program going, and she's another kid that's just going to harass you on defense. She doesn't leave much meat on the bone. She's one of those type of players. If you play her a lot, she's probably going to foul out most nights. So that's kind of our 10 seniors and our 2 sophomores, and not real sure yet what our freshmen are capable of doing, but we're just telling them to act like a sponge and soak everything up that they're seeing and hearing. And
you've got some games up ahead of you in the coming weeks. You talked about going to your first scrimmage later today for your preseason activities. We'll talk about the actual regular season schedule here in just a minute, though. We'll take a break first before we jump into that part, so stay tuned for the second half. We'll talk about the Lady Rebels schedule and the conference up ahead whenever we return here on First Horizons Green Sports Zone.
Here's a twist on your typical banking options. What if, instead of choosing between a big bank or a small bank, you had one bank that's the best of both? That's First Horizon. Big bank muscle with small bank hustle. Big bank convenience and small bank connection. When the best of big meets the best of small, you get it all. to help you on the road to your horizon. First Horizon Bank.
Tommy's Plumbing has been in business for 30 years, and we're still growing because we treat our customers like family. We are proud to do any job from kitchen faucet installation to a complete home repipe. Tommy's Plumbing offers warranties on most products installed by our technicians. When the job is done, our friendly professionals make sure to clean up. We invite you to visit our new showroom in Jonesboro to see our quality products for yourself. Tommy's is the only one to call when you need a fast, reliable, professional plumber in the Tri-Cities.
At many dealerships, you get what you'd expect: games, gimmicks, and shady sales tactics. At Gateway Nissan in Greenville, expect the unexpected: low prices, convenient service, and a great buying experience.
Get our Gateway exclusive lifetime powertrain warranty.
No worries for life.
You deserve the unexpected. It's the #1 reason you gotta get to Gateway.
Shop online at gatewaynissangreenville.com.
Or take the super short drive down Highway 11E to Gateway Nissan in Greenville.
Welcome back to First Horizon's Green Sports Zone, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Stephen Gregg Show, where we cover everything on the hardwood with South Green Lady Rebels basketball team. As always, joined here with Lady Rebels head coach Stephen Gregg. I feel like I can do the intro a lot better with some music. I feel like it sounds a lot better, and I don't know. I feel more enthused whenever
Get
you
you
got some
pumped
music.
up. I mean, you
It
can't hear
does.
that and not think a little bit of about a little wrestling blood pumping in you.
Yeah, I feel you pump your chest out a little bit more. But you've got the schedule up ahead, or you've got the season up ahead now. Let's look at the schedule a little bit. I know I mentioned the conference before we went into the break, and the conference is just a little bit different. It'll be 5 of the 6 same teams. You're just trading out Hampton and Unicoi County now. So it'll be South Green, West Green, Chuckey Doak, Happy Valley, Johnson County, and Unicoi County in the District 1 2A conference. Let's talk about just some of your non-conference and conference action you'll see this year. But first, let's start with the conference, as always. The most important slate of the year. Talk about what you can expect within the conference this year.
I mean, it's never easy. Some of these road games are always a test. I mean, we lost last year up at Johnson County for the first time in my tenure, but they had a young team, so you got to throw them in there. Losing Hampton to pick up Unicoi, it's not a very good trade-off, either boys or girls side. So we hadn't played at Unicoi other than our tournament last year, so that's a good environment to go play up there. And then you got your county rivals with West Green and Chuckey Doak, and I guess that leaves Happy Valley. So it's never easy. You don't really know what everybody has right now either with this new transfer portal stuff, and not sure. But I do know Unicoi. I watched them kind of grow in the ranks because my son was in middle school about the same time that I was watching these girls at Unicoi, and they play the way I like my teams to play. They press, they trap, they get after it. They're on top of the ball, and they're playing fast. So now I think they're sophomores now, and I had some decent success. So not sure the coaching style now because the boys and girls coaches flip-flopped. Brandon Brules is now coaching the boys, and Simmons has got the girls. So it's going to be a new test until you can, go up there and try it out. You don't really know what they're going to do, but I'm sure they're not going to change up too much because they were pretty good in their press. West Green, you know, I know they've got back some experience. Jakey Oak, I'm not sure what all they got. I know they got a new coach, but you know, you hear this and that, what kids are playing and what aren't. But like I said, it's never an easy conference.
Let's talk about some of the non-conference teams too. I know North Green's always the constant every year in your non-conference rotation, but this is a new cycle, so you've probably got some new teams that you've traded out and added to your non-conference schedule. So who are some of those teams that we'll see this year?
Whoever Terry can put on the schedule.
Understand that.
I think we're still going to Granger, which is a tough game. North Green, I think we still got Crockett. I'm not even really focused in on every non-conference game, but you know, you talk about what we've already said with North Green and Granger and Crockett. Those are Granger and Crockett are bigger schools. Who's the fourth one? It's not Cott County.
Cherokee.
Is it Cott County? Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. We had Cott County and DB, but I'm not sure if at one time Terry was asking me, you want to play Cott County, DB, or another AAA school. So I'm not real good with not having a schedule in front of me to know what we're playing yet. Terry's the one that makes the master schedule out, so he may have us playing the Lady Vols for all I know.
Unfortunately, Coach Hosey's office doesn't have the best service either, so I can't find that right now either. But one big thing that I think surprised a lot of people in the offseason also was the Lady Rebels' decision not to be involved in the Ladies Classic now for the first time. So with that being said, you'll now be in a new conference tournament now, or I'm sorry, a new Christmas tournament. Thanksgiving tournament still at Crockett with the
boys are going to Crockett,
okay,
and the girls are going to Granger.
Okay.
So
So talk about those holiday tournaments a little bit.
I do know we're playing Cherokee and Northview Academy up there, and maybe our third game's Claiborne, but Cherokee's going to be a great and upcoming team. We've seen them this summer. We know what their middle school's done with the state titles, so they've got two of the best freshmen around, I would say, in the state. I mean, they're good at what they do. So Granger, I think that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I think the first game's Northview and the second game's Claiborne on Wednesday, and possibly Cherokee on Friday. And boys are going to the Hardy's Classic again, but we've seen an opportunity for our girls to go out and bond, you know, and just kind of get a breath of fresh air to go try something, because it's not fair for our kids, you know, to be locked into a tournament every year. And
right.
And I see all these other teams come in, and I hear that they grow and they take off after this tournament was really good. It propelled their season, and you know, you get them away from home and they get to know a little bit more about each other other than just being at a 3 to 5 practice every day. So we're hoping this will be a good thing for us moving forward, not to take anything away from the Classic. I'm sure they're not going to have any trouble replacing us in that thing.
And then where will you be going for Christmas?
Pensacola, Florida.
Okay, so a little bit of a travel down there. So that'll be a fun trip down there over the Christmas break. And I looked at the schedule. Max Prep's finally loaded. University High is the other non-conference. But you start the season next week with Providence Academy in the Hall of Fame games. So I know we mentioned in the first half that you don't have a set 5 yet, but with that game coming up, let's just give a little preview on that. You've got the first game coming up here soon within the next 10 days. What can we expect in that first Hall of Fame game?
I really don't know. I mean, we're just seeing us go here and practice, and I know the kids' attitudes have been better than they've been in a very long time. Like the girls are locked in, and then there's no, I hate to use the word garbage, but you know, in years past, sometimes you have teams and there's a lot of friction and turmoil and a lot of stuff here and there, and so far it's been, you know, just an easy road. And So I'm hoping that will help transition and continue on the court as well. But they've been a fun group to be around, and just eager to roll up our sleeves and go see what we can do. But know nothing about Providence. Coach Hosey was trying to tell me how to get there today. I've never even been in their gym.
Once. I didn't go until I think it was in September this year. So not many people have been to Providence. If you ask a lot of people, they've not been.
So, I mean, I know they got the ability to recruit, and so I don't even know what we're going into. So we're kind of going into this blind. But you got to start somewhere, and, hopefully I don't think this is going to be something that we will have figured out. I think we're just going to be scratching the surface, and it may be up till Christmas before something really just takes off. And that's sort of what happened with the volleyball season this year. We were rocky, and we were 500, and then we went to a big weekend tournament up in Bristol, and that's when we realized, some of the changes that needed to occur. And after that, people say, well, what was your defining moment of volleyball? And I'll say, well, it was definitely going to that tournament, because that was when we all had to realize what we needed to do to get over the hurdle or get over the hump. And so it may be that up till Christmas before, even though you have seniors, they're not a bunch of seniors that have had to rely on each other a lot, that had been on the same court together. Either it's injuries or other players on the court more, or graduation. But I do expect maturation to set in early, because last season I didn't have any seniors. My daughter got hurt in volleyball, and Madison never came back after the Ladies Classic. So they were forced to kind of grow up and play. And so hopefully they'll be more mature this year. And my biggest concern is value the basketball and quit making so many silly turnovers. Because if we can do that, there shouldn't be a reason we can't compete in every game.
And you got the season just right around the corner now. We're only, like I said, less than 10 days away from your Hall of Fame game next Friday with Providence Academy. So unless there's anything else you'd like to add, I think that's it. We went through the roster, went through the schedule construction. I understand you have a new coach on the staff too. You got Coach Amy Hawk with you now.
Amy stepped up to help this year, and she's been a lifesaver. She can say some things to the girls that I can't necessarily address, or she just connects with them differently than I do. But she's been a lifesaver, just all the behind-the-scenes stuff, to getting paperwork together and scheduling and sending out messages. That's been a big help to me, especially moving over from volleyball. It kind of helped get that zombie state out of my mind. So we'll see how it goes. She's a competitor too, an old ball coach. So hopefully, we're going to learn each other. She's going to learn me. I'm going to learn her as we're learning the team together. So it's going to be an interesting year. And like I said, it may take Christmas, or hopefully not till Christmas, but hopefully we will find what we need to do to get over that hurdle.
She may be the hardest interview to nail down here in Greene County.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a tough one to get. So if she ever graces us with her presence in front of a camera, be fortunate, because it's a rarity.
She don't do her shows.
She don't like to do interviews. She's not a very she doesn't like to sit in front of a camera. So if we ever get her on one of these shows, it'll be a rarity. I like that sweatshirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Is it team issued?
No, I just had a buddy that was running some of them. It was a fundraiser we done here, and he just, I told him I like these silky long sleeves, so it wasn't really an option. And then everybody seeing me wear them, they're like, I wish we could have got those. So, yeah, I like it.
Is it a one of one?
It's an original. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's is it a Stephen Gregg original?
It is. It's got the little pockets in the front and the hood in the back, so that's how I roll.
It's a one of one Stephen Gregg original.
Well, I can't. I got to give some props to Belichick. He would show up in the hoodies and look like he's homeless, but then he would get it done.
He had the. Did he have the cutoff hoodies, or did he have the sleeve?
He had the cutoffs. Yeah, he looked more homeless. But that's one thing Coach Hawk said. She said, my butt's going to have to dress up more, because She said, I can't be looking slouchy. So I said, I'm not wearing a tie. So I don't know what that's going to mean, but like I said, it's been a good thing early that she's trying to take care of some things that maybe I was not real good at. So
we're looking forward to it now. Got the season just around the corner now. We'll have more shows up and coming in the future weeks. We'll have games, of course, broadcasted throughout the year for our Bachman-Bernard GSC Game of the Weeks presented by Tommy's Plumbing. Of course, we'll have the Lady Rebels on a few, but that's all we've got this time around unless there's anything else you'd like to add.
I'm good.
All right, that's it. Thank you all for got to shake hand. Always do at the end.
All right.
Enjoy the music at the beginning, too. We'll have that throughout the year. Same music all year?
I don't know. I'm a music guy, man. I may mix it up on you.
Mix it up?
Yeah,
Cool.
I've got all kinds of genres, like music.
We may see what fits the vibe that week, how the week before's went.
Oh, shoot, no. I don't know. Some of that stuff I might not be able to play.
That's all we've got this week. Thank you all for watching the first edition of the Gary's Paint and Body Shop Steve and Gregg Show. Look forward to seeing y'all next time here on First Horizon's Green Sports Zone.